Hello, everyone, or at least those of you who are still around. I'm Mappy, here with Kovok for episode 9 of the Halo.
So why'd you click on this video? Audience. You saw the last one, presumably. You saw how that went. Why'd you click on this one? Got dishes to clean? Are you, are you mowing the lawn?
I think it's Stockholm Syndrome, honestly. Or, at least the sunk cost fallacy. They've gone this far. They might as well follow us the rest of the way.
So after my existential breakdown on the last episode, where I just got really drunk and just depressed, here's to a much better level, Keys. So we've teleported ourselves back onto the Truth and Reconciliation.
And, this did make me think of something. Because, end of the previous episode, Cortana mentions, the teleportation system uses a lot of energy, but I think I can use your shields for it. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much, power those shields take, for lack of a better term.
A lot. Powering those shields are actually a nightmare. They're not nuclear powered, but they're powered on some bullshit. It's difficult. Because to power these energy shields was a big thing in the series Expanded Universe. For the longest time, the shields were actually powered by external power generators that would somehow transmit the energy to shields in the area wirelessly, and it took forever for them to find a way to put this on a smaller object. So, God knows how much energy these things take. It's once again worth noting that these energy shields cost more than a battleship. And unfortunately, I've fallen out of the ship, and now I must find my way back in.
Because of course, that clumsy John 117, as demonstrated by earlier when we teleported in, he was just kind of dumped on his noggin.
I'm sorry, Cortana. I'm trying to sneak around and avoid the Covenant, the Flood, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keep alerting the enemies.
I mean, the really impressive part about that is that unlike Snake, he's so dummy thick that you can hear him through armor.
So this level is less bullshit. We are trying to rescue Commander Keys from the Truth and Reconciliation again, because seriously, the second half of this game is literally just a retread. We're literally going after trying to rescue the same person from the same place. The only difference being that this part of the level I think is actually new.
But the symmetry, Kovok. The symmetry.
It's like an Ouroboros, except instead of eating its own tail, it's shoveling its own shit in its mouth by sucking on its tail.
What a wonderful mental image.
It's like the human centipede, except by scat fetishists. So I guess the human centipede.
Yeah, I was about to say. But you did mention something before we started recording these. That you remember seeing somewhere that Keys was not the one who picked out our good friend John for the Spartan program?
I don't think so. I'll look into it. Let me just check right now.
Because then all that aggression that John Spartan took out on him in the first episode makes a lot less sense.
Let's see. So let's read the history of Master Chief. John was born in 2511 and lived with his mother and father in his Elysium City on the colony world of Arandias. So I was wrong that he's African. He is not. He attended the Elysium City Primary Education Facility number 119. As a child, John had brown hair, so I was wrong about him being blonde. Freckles and a skull and a small gap between his front teeth. In a dream during cryosleep aboard the UNSC Pillar of Autumn, John recalled that his mother kind of smelled like soap, and that she had large eyes, a straight nose, and full lips for sucking dick. That part wasn't in there. The would-be UNSC Marine Lieutenant Parsa was a childhood friend of John's, who John once saved from drowning at Lake Gusev. John thereafter promised to marry and protect her, which he did not do. Paris's father shot a photo of the two soon after that, Pursuer kept as a memento long after she thought John had died. John was also friends with Ellie Boom and Katrina during his childhood. Some nights, John would lay in the glass fields with the girls, and the three of them would look up at the stars together. Wow, this is kind of depressing in a way.
Okay, so before you continue, I just love how, like, maudlin they've made his childhood.
Maudlin?
You know, the kind of thing where it's like, he was such a precious little child, like the gap between his front teeth and the freckles, and like, isn't it so sad that he got turned into a super soldier? Yeah. It feels very like they are intentionally tugging at our heartstrings here.
Dr. Catherine Halsey identified John as an ideal candidate, a physical and mental candidate for the 150-strong preliminary pool of the Spartan 2 program when he was 6. He stood a head taller than the majority of his schoolmates, had greater physical proportions, and possessed greater strength, superior reflexes, and aggressive drive for success. When Drs. Halsey and Lieutenant Jacob Keyes visited Eruditus II in 2517 to study him, they were impressed with his intellect and luck. Yes, I'm very impressed with this person's luck. A thing that definitely exists.
Someone's been reading Ringworld.
In a final test of his viability as a candidate, he was asked to determine which side a coin would land on. He watched the coin as it flew in the air and caught it before it could land, correctly stating that which side was face up and which side was the eagle. John was the first candidate Dr. Halsey and Lieutenant Keyes studied. Later that same year, John and 74 other 76-year-old children were conscripted. They were covertly kidnapped from their homes and replaced with flash clones, all of which would later die of neurological problems stemming from the imperfect cloning process, covering up the kidnappings.
So what I'm learning from this is that apparently our good friend John Spartan is actually psychic.
Maybe.
Because that sounds like the kind of bullshit test you'd use to, like, test if someone's psychic. Though, like, why wouldn't they just use Zener cards or whatever? That being said, like, that does feel like a very Ringworld thing. Because if I remember correctly, one of the characters in Ringworld was a young woman whose family had literally been bred for luck.
Well, let me read a quote from Halo 3. They let me choose. They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research. Watched as you became the soldier we need you to be. Like the others, you were strong, swift, and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck. Was I wrong? Cortana.
I was about to say, was that Cortana, or was that, like, the Gravemind?
No, it's Cortana. So clearly, luck is a quantifiable thing in the Halo universe, and Master Chief has a high luck score.
Which, you know, that's... I would love it if there was, like, some expanded universe bullshit, where it's just, like, John 117 go into a casino and making bank.
Well, apparently he has enough luck that they consider that a military feat.
Wonderful.
One thing that is cool about this level is that the enemies are fighting each other. That wasn't. No, it did happen on the
nice to say.
It is. I was just gonna say it did happen on the prior level, but I was too drunk to point it out in my depression about how much I hate the last level.
Yeah, like this one feels less nonsense.
What was that just now? Did you see how many times I shot that guy and no damage was registered by the game?
just when I was saying, oh game, this level is not nonsense, you did that. Why do I open my mouth? Besides the fact that we are recording these videos for the internet, and if I didn't open my mouth, then my contribution would be exactly 0.
You could do like a webcam and do sign language, or semaphore.
Semaphore would be excellent, because okay, I don't know sign language, which is a personal failing. But semaphore would be just great. It's just very much not designed for quick communication. Someone's probably done that. Someone's probably done a something where their commentary is in semaphore.
So we're almost out of this. The only original area I think of this level, actually. I think we just have to kill all the flood, and then they'll teleport us. There we go.
I will say
Master Chief is getting attacked, by the way. He's bleeding everywhere.
Nope, I leave. I will say that. Also, wow, was that a fireplace on the ship?
That wasn't a fireplace. That was a door covering up a burning room.
Okay, I was about to say that seems like a really stupid idea if you're going to be cycling your air. But I did like how the previous level was it was Halo green and purple, but in a kind of different way from other areas, because I think that's the first time. Is that the first time we've seen that glowing green goop?
The glowing green goop, yes. If you're talking about the purple thing, no. We saw that on Truth and Reconciliation, but the green goop, yes.
I mean, the purple is just standard. It's just standard Halo.
Now, one thing I'm going to throw out here is that Cortana has already pointed this out, but the Flood are trying to rebuild this ship because the Flood aren't stupid, and they want to rebuild this ship to get off of Halo and infect the rest of the universe. So this already reveals they're smarter than... They're not just zombies, they're intelligent.
Yeah, that would be a great thing that they could do with that? They made the anime AI for the Flood smart.
I'll tell spoilers. They literally never will.
Yeah, which I love it when things go oh, it's so intelligent, and then it's it just kind of flails. Just kind of flails and makes you fly in the air and then do a spin.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
Have you heard of the accordion cover for that?
No.
I should send you the accordion cover for You Spin Me Right Round.
Oh, it's only 9 o'clock. All right.
It is. It does, however, feel way later because it is the winter, and all is darkness, all is night, and the birds are hunting.
The Norse believe that Ragnarok happened because they lived in a place that was cold and dark. So what does that say about New York?
Oh, New York is nowhere near as bad. When I went to visit my sister, and she lives over in England, I want to say sundown during winter was around 3 p.m. And the sun didn't rise till 10 in the morning. Meanwhile, if anyone's watching this from Norway, they're laughing at us.
If anyone's watching this from Antarctica, they're laughing even harder.
Oh no! Well, I was gonna go with Norway because then they're haha, we haven't seen the sun in months. But then I would be very impressed if anyone was watching this from one of the research bases down in Antarctica, because my impression for those is that you have very limited internet uptime, and I don't know, I would feel very honored if someone was spending their very limited internet time on watching some garbage I put out with a friend.
Why wouldn't you get more internet uptime in Antarctica? I mean, I feel like there'd be very little competition for the internet resources.
Well, I remember correctly, it's because like, um, basically they have to bring the entire infrastructure, and most of the time it's going to be used for like actually scientifically important things. Oof. That was some real tentacle face there, John.
A lot of explosions. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, listen. The internet, remember when the internet used to be about being the most free it could be and that information should be free? And now it's just about how can we create artificial ownership on things you can't own?
Yes.
Well, maybe Antarctica needs to go to the past when information should be free, and stop hoarding the internet for only the scientific elite. Maybe the average citizen in Antarctica, the penguins of Madagascar, have the right to watch internet videos as they see fit.
I mean, I think you'll find that the scientific elite are the common citizens of Antarctica.
This scientography cannot stand. A house divided by itself is a poorly built house. And it does divide, and frankly speaking, equals 1, and 1 is the loneliest number.
I mean, I would just point out that ever since they started recruiting scientists from the penguins, the internet situation has just gotten worse.
I hate to admit that I'm losing it at the house divided by itself equals 1 part.
But wouldn't it be 2, which is almost as bad as 1?
But 1 is the loneliest number because it's the only one.
You know, I kind of wish that song kept counting past 3.
No, it exists in binary, so you only can do 0, 1, and oh wait. And that's why 2 can't be included in the song, and why it's 1 and 0, really. I don't know where I'm going with that. It doesn't make any sense.
But I'm just imagining, like, further verses where they're telling us all about, like, the number 17.
A ménage à trois sounds great, but then, you know, sometimes you don't want to be plowed from behind while you're doing somebody.
I don't think that could be part of the song, honestly.
4 sounds just
I
are confusing. Where do you even stick it at that point?
I don't think either of those suggested verses really go with like the rhythm of the song.
Once you get up to 5, I mean, really the question is just how are we even doing this? What's the mechanics of the situation? Aren't we just doing parallel processing at this point?
I feel like we were having different conversations at this point.
I think we are indeed.
And meanwhile, John Spartan's like, I just have a shotgun. I'm just gonna do what I know how to do.
Our 2 listeners, thanks for sticking around through all this.
Yeah. So you know what I just thought?
Yeah?
I wonder if John 117 gets, like, deja vu whenever he dies and respawns.
Well, you see, every time he dies, he actually goes to... I actually edited it out. He goes to a screen where it says, you know, Cortana still needs you. You must stay determined, John. Or it says something like, you can't let the UNSC down. You must stay determined. And then you get the option to continue or quit. So John is actually fully conscious after each death. It's all one continuous timeline for him.
That must be incredibly confusing for all of the aliens, honestly.
I mean...
Didn't he kill you, like, 30 times?
No, he time travels back before it happened. So they don't even realize that there multiple time events are occurring. That's the power of determination. The power of humanity. You know, we're being funny, by the way, because I'm just fucking stealing this from Undertale, but the game Prey from 2006 basically had that as a mechanic where you go to the spirit world every time you die and then you respawn instantly back into the level.
So, like, I actually recently had a conversation with someone who was really torn apart that the, like, sequel to Prey wasn't much like the original Prey. And I'm like, that's just a completely different game.
Yeah, they just use the branding.
Which is still incredibly weird, 'cause, like, it has nothing to do with 2006 Prey.
Yeah, and 2006 Prey wasn't too bad either.
I'm less familiar with 2006 Prey. I liked watching someone play through New Prey. And then Prey Moon Crash was a really, really interesting idea, but I think it was kind of spoiled by the fact that you could bring in items after a certain point. Are you familiar with Prey Moon Crash, Kovach?
That's the DLC that basically turns into a roguelike.
Yes. And like I kind of like the whole like, okay, you need to get everything done within a single. You need to like master the space until you hit the point where you can do everything in one go. But I feel like the fact they give you an operator that can carry an unlimited amount of stuff and the ability to buy items before you go in, just kind of like, okay, now I don't have to actually learn where the good places to find drops are, I guess.
Welcome to me getting lost again, like I did last time I was in this area.
You just don't like navigating through Truth and Reconciliation, do you?
I do not.
Also, just to follow up on my do you think Master Chief gets deja vu? Do you think he's getting deja vu right now? He's like, haven't I been here?
Cortana.
Haven't I already done this?
Haven't I already
Cortana?
infiltrated this place?
Oh no, that was last week. Infiltration is a weekly affair.
Cortana, please tell me. Am I still in a dream, Snake Eater? Cortana, do you know where to go? Cortana, please respond. Cortana, I've left like 4 messages and you haven't responded to any of them. Are you going out with a different Spartan?
Should be really hard because after I sabotaged that drop, I wanted to be the last Spartan. But
He is the last Spartan in Halo Infinite, by the way.
can you imagine if Halo had been written by Hideo Kojima?
Oh my god, Halo written by Hideo Kojima would be a masterpiece. I would want to play the shit out of Hideo Kojima's Halo.
It would have been so good.
Master Chief, don't you understand? I'm just giving people what they need. It's just all part of the system. A little bit of battle, a little bit of money goes all around in the world, and everything keeps spinning. Of course, you have to understand. Now that you know this, I can't leave you alive. And then rules of nature starts kicking in, and then Master Chief freaking fights a gigantic muscle-bound senator. God, that'd be amazing. I don't even think Hideo Kojima wrote Revengeance, but that would still be awesome.
Okay, so I was about to say, so which character do you think would be giving John that speech? Would it be like, I would love if it was just like some random like flood infection form.
It's the Arbiter.
That's fair.
It's the Arbiter doing that.
The Arbiter as a giant muscle-bound senator would be amazing. I wonder what the Arbiter's platform would be.
Heals.
Eels. Eels for everyone.
No. Platform... it was a bad pun. That's not what his platform would be, so I said heals.
Oh, okay. I heard eels. And I was like, sure, that's a political platform. I'd vote for someone who offered me a lifetime supply of eels.
Are you saying that you don't play Eels and Escalators, Lady Mappy?
It is my favorite game.
Barnacles.
all other tabletop games are made by Storytelling Swine.
And today we're smoking pipe weed as we make this comment about story games.
Like,
that was a reference to, you know.
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. There are probably not that people who run in the relevant circles are going to hear this. There are probably like so many people who were around for that guy when he was doing his thing. Is he still doing his thing?
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure that asshole is still being a dick about games that are better than any game he ever made.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Flood is an aggressive parasitic species.
It, of course, just feeds off the labor of the common man.
And when you think about it, is there not a more relevant story than one where an entire superpower was brought to its knees and exterminated because they could not handle a virus because of their own incompetence and infighting?
Yeah.
Oh, I think humans should be claimers. Well, I hate humans. Well, we should work together. No, fuck you. I don't want humans to work out. Didac, stop being a dick. No. I will literally never stop being a dick.
No, I got this spray tan and this wig for a reason.
I will freeze myself for 50,000 years, and when they wake me up, I will continue being a dick.
I mean, hey,
His vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry.
if you're gonna be a dick, at least be that dedicated to it. Like, don't do your dickishness halfway.
No one likes a dick only halfway in, after all.
But yes.
Hey, listen, at least your video won't get marked for kids.
I mean, I don't like. I have to set that manually. Like,
No, they
as far
can
as
do
I know this.
They can do that to you. Actually, that's what annoys a lot of people. Is they can do that to you if they feel your video qualifies. So anyway, here we are, and this is Commander Keys. We're here to rescue him. He's put on a little weight, you know.
A little weight, just a little bit. But we have to be nice about it.
Nothing that a little. Maybe if he goes on a keto diet,
Maybe
you know, he should just do what all my doctors told me to do and just cut out soda and watch what we eat. You know, not like that's the most generic goddamn advice.
We can't let the Flood get off this ring.
Yeah.
You know what he'd expect.
Maybe a little paleo.
Want us to do.
Yeah, you should go on the paleo diet maybe. So anyway, this is a proto grave mind. This basically is a Flood consciousness starting to form.
It's done.
And Chief got the codes back by punching through this horrific mass of flesh and human agony.
Panting and sweating as it runs through these corridors.
Those things are like spec ops grunts, which mean they have fuel rod cannons, which are the Covenant rocket launchers.
Oh. And the fact that you went flying there is
Stay and find a ride.
impressive.
So welcome. There's less Halo. If you are currently watching this video, you will be done with Halo, I think, within an
Find a
hour.
ride.
I mean, if you're watching this once the next episode goes off. If not, you'll have to wait a little bit.
I mean, you have better things to do anyway.
Let's go back to
Maybe you should
Yeah.
call your mother and, check up on her.
Mother, father, other members of your family.
You have people who love you. Why don't you, talk to them every so often? Just check in on them. Just see how they're doing. They'll appreciate it.
Yes, because we are the people turn to for advice on healthy relationships with family members.
You know, while we're on the subject, you know that person you're stalking for the last few weeks, and you peer at them throughout the window when they use the bathroom. Maybe you should give them a call too. Figure out what they're doing.
Maybe
that
don't
was-
do that.
That
Maybe
restraining
don't do that.
The restraining order is just a piece of paper. You know, it doesn't really mean anything.
But yes,
Sorry.
I see that you're getting like one last demonstration of the alternate graphics in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the whole like, look, Keys is now a blob revelation. Like, where do you go from there? It's probably a good thing that they ended the game and then just never made any Halo past this one, right? That.
I really like that the solution to my trouble here was just wait, and they killed each other to the last man.
Yep. Oh wait, nope. You left an infection form. There, you dealt with it. So, I wonder if, like, you could have solved the previous level like that. If
Probably.
You just kind of wait at the very beginning for long enough. Will the level just run out of flood?
I think you have to at least be close enough for the AI to activate it. I don't think their scripts are running the entire level.
So, okay. So, one thing I've noticed is that whenever John Spartan goes flying, your arms and legs flail.
Yes.
I'm wondering if that's because if he's still alive when that happens, or if that's like a reflex they programmed into the armor. Like, hey, if the person in you dies, just like, I don't know, flail your arms and legs, make it look really scary.
Make yourself look bigger.
Maybe target your operator's corpse at the opponent. Maybe take one or two of them out. It's a last-ditch effort.
Pull the Homer Simpson and fire your commanding officer through a torpedo at the enemy ship.
Isn't that what commanding officers are for?
So, one thing you'll notice, by the way, is that the fuel rod guns actually explode shortly after they're hit. So when I blow up some of these fuel rod guns, they'll start smoking, and they actually blow up on their own. So just bear that in mind.
Which again, it makes it like I've noticed that you've been having less trouble with the fuel rod guns.
Because they bounce. They're not straight. They're mortars.
Ah.
Grab one of the escort banshees.
Grab one of the escort banshees! Sorry. So
I'm about to pull a pro gamer move here, by the way.
Is it called jumping?
All you have to do is get in one of these banshees, so...
Jumping!
Okay, I was wrong. I do not pull a pro gamer move here. But here I pull a pro gamer move. That was the pro gamer move. I was wrong on the timing. The second time, though... They'll stop eventually.
I'm good. I'm alive. I don't know why that was as funny as it was, but it was hilarious.
So, when they stop crying, we'll record episode 10. See you then.
See you then.